Hey everyone, welcome back to JR Pro Shop Vids. Today we have a special treat. It's a double feature. We have the track Paragon Shadow and also the Cypher Pearl, which we missed out a little bit earlier on. So let's talk first about the Paragon Shadow. Now, if you're looking at this ball, you might think it looks a little bit familiar. To me, it looks exactly like a Paradox Black, and they're really trying to match that ball motion with this ball right here. So today we're on the PBA Monticelli pattern. It's 42 feet. It's a pretty low ratio. It's pretty flat across the boards. You're gonna see in some of these shots here, just a little bit of variance is gonna have a big impact further down the lane. So this Paragon Shadow contains the same core as the original Paragon series. The blue one was personally my favorite. So we have the iCore 3.0. We have a little bit of an update in cover stock technology. We have an HK22C with cohesion additive with QR12 additives, which is the strongest additive package in the track brand. So first couple of shots here, I was maybe a little bit too direct. This isn't a very high volume pattern. So you're gonna see a lot of the shots here, they wanna hook a little bit early. So these first couple shots here, struggling to get it down the lane, it really wants to go through the face. So the adjustment here is going to be to move my feet 3 to the right and adjust my target a little bit inside as well. This helped me find a little bit easier path to the pocket. Still having trouble carrying some pins, but at least we're in the pocket. We're in a spot where maybe we can score a little bit better. Like I said before, this is a really strong ball and it really wants to dig into the front part of the lane. So as I get into the pattern a little bit more, you see that ball want to start up just a little bit soon, and it doesn't really make the corner down lane. So you're gonna leave some flat corner pins. That's kind of to be expected when the ball is so strong like this and wants to hook so early. So I figured the best comparison for this Paragon Shadow was the Criterion Solid. So both of these have an HK22C cover with the QR12 additives. This is a hybrid version of it where the Criterion had a solid version. Looking at the difference in core shape and especially where the mass is located within those cores, I found the iCore 3.0 in the Paragon series to be a little bit more core heavy, maybe a smoother rolling type shape. Criterions have a little bit more mass centered away from the middle, so you see a little bit more defined shape off the break point. So playing in the same part of the lane, looking at the two balls side by side, I found a little bit more length out of the Criterion actually, even though it is a solid. That core shape wants to rev up a little bit later. At least to my eye, I see a little bit more shape down lane. So circling back to the Paragon Shadow here, where would I use it in a league or tournament block? This is only gonna be usable on fresh, and there's gotta be a fair amount of oil in the front part of the lane. Otherwise, it's probably gonna hook a little bit too early and not give you enough energy retention and more shape down lane. So you're gonna need quite a bit of oil and quite a bit of oil in the front part of the lane for a ball like this. So moving on to the Cypher and the Cypher Pearl. The Cypher for me is one of my favorite balls right now. A little higher RG symmetric solid, so maybe not the exact right ball on fresh, but certainly a great transition ball. That's where I found its best use. A lot of the leagues and the tournaments that I bowl, the lane surface tends to be a little bit more beat up. It's got some age to it. The really strong balls want to hook way too early, and even some of the more benchmark type balls want to hook too early as well. So I find myself gravitating to balls that are a little bit cleaner, but not super responsive off the end of the pattern. I like to play a little bit further left and have more control of the pocket, and a ball like the Cypher really helps me achieve that. So making a move off of the Criterion and the Paragon, it was going to be a 7-board move to the left and a lot straighter angles through the front part of the lane. These first couple of shots, a little bit fast. You see those flat 7s. That's to be expected when you're on this difficult of an oil pattern and you're just trying to control the shape and hit the pocket. You're not going to get 10 all the time, but 9 is a really good result. So playing with my speed a little bit, trying to get my hand around it a bit more, you can see those balls shape a little bit more down lane, and we were able to get 10 a few times here. So pretty happy with what I see out there. Now comparing to the Cypher Pearl, you have a ball with a really high RG that gets it down the lane, and you have a cover stock that's really clean and really responsive to friction. So sometimes you can see it misses the spot a little bit, comes in behind the head pin, and sometimes it wants to dig in a little bit early and go through the face or even Brooklyn. So for me, I'm probably gonna have to at least play with surface on this one. I don't like even the shiny balls really shiny out of the box. I'll always take maybe a 2000 or 3000 Abralon pad just to scuff some of that shine off of it so I feel like it's a little bit more predictable. I find that my ball speed is high enough where I don't have to force the ball down the lane. I don't need the help to achieve that. I do with kind of the ball speed that I create. A little bit more surface to me creates a little better results overall. So as you can see on one of these shots here, leaked a little bit to the left, and these lane panels give no forgiveness if you miss towards the gutter. They will hang there forever, and this is the result. It won't count. All right, so let's talk about some ratings for these new balls. Let's start with the Paragon Shadow here. So on a hook potential scale, I'm gonna give this probably a 9.5. It's not the strongest ball I've ever thrown, but it's certainly up there. So response time, I'm gonna give this a 4.5. I don't think it's the earliest rolling ball I've ever seen, but it's certainly a slow responding ball. I think if there was a little bit more oil in the front part of the lane, you might see a different rating in this spot, but based on what I saw today, this thing really wanted to hook early. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5. And shelf appeal, I was a big fan of the Paradox Black, as were a lot of track fans out there. And this ball, as soon as I looked at it, that's the first thing I thought it was the Paradox Black. I'm gonna give it a 9. I really like it. It's really eye-catching, especially how that orange engraving pops against the black and the silver. I really like that. So for the Cypher Pearl hook potential, I'm probably gonna give this about a 5. It's certainly not a big hooking ball. It hooks a lot further down the lane, but I wouldn't say it hooks a lot overall. Response time is a tough one. I'm probably gonna give it about a 9. It's certainly really quick when it sees friction. It's just a question of how late or early down the lane is it really gonna see it. I don't know exactly what it's gonna do. I find it to be a little unpredictable in that sense. I don't like balls that are that quick responding, so I might have to sand this to kind of bring that number down so it's a little bit more in play for me. All right, shelf appeal, the Pearl balls do look really good. The color scheme is nice. I'm kind of a fan of the ugly balls. I like the original Cypher. That thing is hideous looking, but I like it. This is probably about a 7 out of 10 as far as shelf appeal. It's certainly one that people are gonna look at and really take notice of. I don't know if it's gonna be anyone's favorite though. Certainly not mine, but I like the ugly ones. So before we wrap things up, it is question time with Barks, and I have an interesting one. I said this Paragon Shadow looks a little bit like a Paradox Black, and I wanna know if there was a ball from the past that you'd wanna bring back, what would it be? Let me know down in the comments. Now for myself, I know it's a little bit off-brand, but I'd like to see the Storm Frantic come back. That ball is iconic. If you ever watched that classic Pete Weber clip winning the US Open, that's the ball he was throwing. So it's an iconic ball with an iconic moment. So I'd like to see that one come back. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're looking for a new ball, new bag, new pair of shoes, head to shop.bufabowling.com, use our promo code JungoBarks, and save 10% off your order. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
You